Good evening, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, bar shopkeepers count losses after major flooding. Serious consequences for those who attack the police. And 1.5 million litres of water lost daily in major leakage.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
A majority of businesses in Bar Town have suffered significant damage after floodwaters entered their shops. As the town remains closed, shop owners are trying to assess the damage and also secure their properties. Felipe Nakaso was in Bar today and filed this report.
It's one of the worst nightmares for any business owner. As heavy rain hit the country last night till this morning, majority of these shops in Bar Town felt the full brunt of floodwaters.
I think by 7 o'clock the water is already in our shop. We had about close to 3 to 3.5 feet of water in our shop. As you can see at the back, the steps are that high, about 2.5 feet high. After that, then goes to 3 feet water inside the shop. It's quite a big damage.
Most of these shop owners had to throw items away which were damaged by the floodwaters.
This place was just all filled with mud. The things were just lying around here. When you opened the shop, there was a thick pile of mud. Everything was just lying on the floor. When we came in, these guys were like emptying their stuff. Everything got wet. But lucky we put everything up, so nothing of our stuff was damaged. We just had to clean it. We just pumped the water from the river and washed everything down.
This was the scene today in Bar Town, as majority of business owners had been out here in the morning cleaning.
So fast. I can't do anything. Also, yesterday is Sunday. They can't shift anything. That's why mostly things is already in the water.
This is basically the scene in most parts of the area here in Bar Town after the heavy downpour last night into the early hours of this morning caused flooding in majority of places here in Bar. With the heavy rain warning still in place, residents here in Bar will now have to act and move to high ground. For FBC News, I'm Felipe Naikaso.
We now cross live to Felipe Naikaso. Felipe, the Fiji Met Office this afternoon announced that heavy rain is expected to ease from later tomorrow. Can you tell us more?
Yes, thanks, Jackie. However, the weatherman is advising the general public to exercise caution as a heavy rain warning is still in force for the whole of Fiji group. The Fiji Met Office has also stated that an active trough of low pressure with cloud and rain remains slow moving over the country. However, it has actually gradually started to weaken also. For those living in flood-prone areas, you also are to remain alert as the rain is expected to continue until tomorrow evening. Parents, school teachers and children are also advised to exercise caution regarding travel to and from schools. Also, a strong warning has also come from the National Disaster Management Office for those that will be who will be swimming in flooded drains, rivers or waterways should refrain from doing this. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Felipe. A day after the chair of the Air Terminal Services revealed evidence that they had paid $5.78 million as dividends, Fiji Trades Union Congress General Secretary Felix Anthony has distanced himself from the issue. Anthony says the ATS Employees Trust is a business arm of the shareholders and FTUC has no part to play in it and is not of concern for him. He further says they have no idea as a union on the money paid out. ATSET Secretary Vili Finau is yet to comment on the matter, and attempts to get in touch with him prove futile. SODELPA candidate Linda Tambuya has already stated they cannot comment on the matter. ATS Chair Ria Said Qayyum has called for a national inquiry into the matter of the missing money, and also there is a possibility of the matter being handed to FICAC and police. Meanwhile, Syed Qayyum says he will not resign from the board as there's no reason for him to resign. This comes after politicians in the Fiji Trades Union Congress, including ATS Employees Trust Secretary Vili Finau, calling for the ATS chair's resignation amidst the ATS saga. Syed Qayyum says the unionists and politicians have manipulated ATS workers.
Why does he want me to step down? There must be, I've told you why he should resign, and I've given an explanation as to why he should resign. Why is he asking me to step down? If you tell me the reason, I'll answer you.
A 30-year-old man died last night after being buried in a heap of soil inside a trench in Lambasa. Tamasi Kanailangi of Viwa in Bautailevu was working inside a trench along Ndamanu Street in Lambasa town and was just climbing out when he slipped and fell back in. FBC News understands his foot slipped while trying to climb up, and when he fell, the sides of the trench gave in and covered him. The NFA rescue squad was called to the scene to retrieve Kanailangi. By the time they found him, he was lifeless. His body now lies at the Lambasa hospital. Kanailangi was working for a company contracted by the Water Authority of Fiji to undertake the upgrading of the sewer pipeline from Sarosaro to the Ndamanu pumping station. He is survived by his wife and 2 children. 7 police officers were attacked on 3 different occasions last week. This has raised serious concerns for the safety of police officers while on duty. And Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tundravu says the issue will be taken seriously. Ali Kimbia with the details.
The officers were looking for marijuana plantation when they were threatened and pelted with stones by 3 men. 2 of the men ran away while the 3rd was arrested, and police later seized close to 1,000 suspected marijuana plants.
2 years ago, about 1.5 years ago, I started renovating, refitting 2 of our police boats that we had there, old aluminium ones, putting on more powerful engines and things like that, with the idea of quick and decisive response to activities that might happen.
Chief Operations Officer ACP Rusiate Tundrabu says there were 2 other incidents on the weekend as well.
And I would like to make it clear, there are also incidents received in the weekend that one of our female officers was assaulted and another one down in downtown Suba. And all that are 2, and all have been arrested.
Tundrabu says the police force will ensure anyone attacking or threatening police officers will be taken to task.
And we don't want our police officers in the outer stations to be victimized. That is the message that we would like to clearly state here.
The police are adamant anyone found attacking or assaulting a police officer will face serious consequences. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Water Authority loses around 1.5 megalitres of water in a day due to a major leakage at the Nangando water treatment plant in Nadi. The authority has contracted Alicia Engineering from Ba to carry out urgent repairs next month, and as a result, residents of Nadi and parts of Lautoka will face water disruptions.
The Water Authority team has been visiting residents, hoteliers and schools in Nadi and Lautoka, urging them to prepare for the planned water disruption.
In terms for daily consumption purpose, we are asking them to store 200 liters of water during that 4 days for drinking and cooking purpose. For other purpose, they need to store additional water. For schools, I think we have done assessment. Most of the schools that will be affected in Nadi, Lautoka have water tanks at their premises.
The authority has also placed water tanks for the benefit of domestic customers.
For the main service like hospitals, airports and also to the hotel industry, there will be 100 water cutting trucks on the road on a daily basis to cut water, and we'll be also meeting some of the demands from our domestic customers. But apart from this, we have already put in 100 water tanks at strategic locations.
The contractors will repair the defective control valve and problems in the main transmission pipelines that caused leakages. The repairs will be carried out on February 3rd, and disruptions are anticipated to last 4 days.
It's a maximum 24 hours for the repair. But after the repair, we have to fill the system because all the reservoirs and pipelines are empty. It takes 2.5 days to restore water, to pressurize the pipeline system and fill all the reservoirs.
The project will cost the Water Authority around $500,000. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Still to come, thousands begin new school year. And retailers warn not to cheat on fuel prices. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singa toka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Si Kominasyon Butikola, ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali taki lang gitu pinasibali, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na ponga ni BNN.
Today marked the first day of the new school year, and despite some downpours across the nation, students headed off to begin their new academic year. Rain or not, parents and students were excited about the first day of school.
With the 2018 academic year starting today, parents in Suva said that they were looking forward to a good school year.
We hope that the weather and the year will be better for us this year.
Looking forward for the good year this year for the schools.
I'm very proud of sending my son to year 1 today.
It was exciting for me because I'm taking a new student in, and I'm excited to wake up in the morning and making them lunch.
Many students enjoyed their first day at school and said they were looking forward to learning new things in their classes.
I'm a class 1 and school is good.
In Mars Brothers Primary School, and this is my last year at Mars Brothers Primary School. It was a very good day for me.
School was good and I met some of my friends.
Al Minister for Education Ayaz Sayed Qayyum says that parents, students and teachers have the unwavering support of the government and wish the students best for 2018.
Wish all of the school students a fantastic new year, in particular those of them who are going to year 1.
Meanwhile, students, parents and teachers have also been advised by the ministry to take necessary precautions to stay safe. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
The Education Ministry's helpline goes live tomorrow morning. Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum says if any teacher, parent or student has concerns or complaints, they can lodge them on the toll-free helpline. The ministry for the first time has set up 2 numbers with Vodafone and Digicel. The toll-free number 162 has been dedicated to students and 163 is specifically for teachers. Said Qayyum says this will provide an outlet for teachers, parents and students to voice their problems, and more importantly, it will help find solutions.
Teachers, for example, who want to lodge any complaint or have any query regarding the employment, their pay, the work conditions, how they're being treated, by any of the staff from the ministry's head office or any of the divisional offices, they need to dial 162. And that number will go to an independent group of civil servants who will actually attend to their issues.
The Roads Authority has contractors on standby in the Western Division to move into any of the affected areas where roadwork may be required at short notice. This comes after heavy rainfall overnight affected roads, leading to some closures from Lautoka to Raki town. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
The heavy rainfall over the last 24 hours wreaked havoc, cutting off road access and closing down townships. Fiji Roads Authority deployed teams to these hotspots in Lautoka, Ba, Tavoa and Raki.
2 areas of major concern right now. One is the Pai Pai crossing and the Mia Mahajan crossing. They've been damaged, so we've deployed the contractors across there to see what they can do with those 2 crossings. On those also, we're looking at a more permanent solution in the future.
The Roads Authority is also ensuring that if need be, immediate repair work can be carried out.
And I've got a team of contractors also who are on standby to move into any areas that are necessary where work might be required at short notice.
Morris says with the high tide expected and excessive rainfall, the authority will remain on alert.
We've got teams across in the west, out and about in all areas, making sure that we have the latest information and update as soon as anything happens out there.
The public is advised to contact the FRA on their helpline 5720 if there are any queries. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Legal action will be taken against any trader who is found to be engaging in unethical dealings. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission is coming down hard on retailers to ensure they don't go above the increase in fuel prices that came into effect today. Kelly Vadala has more.
The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission says it will not tolerate anyone found cheating on the new fuel prices.
This is a stern warning to those people that are wanting to engage in such behaviors. Don't. Because we'll be out, our people will be out in numbers. They will be going out and looking at how people are actually trading.
The Consumer Commission says as a global leader in the fight against climate change, Fijians should look at using renewable energy and also engage in activities such as walking, carpooling and cycling.
We need to conserve our use of renewable sources of energy, so fuel oil as well as LPG. I think it's essential that we look at changing our patterns. This is an increase, and it is a result of our dependency on global fuel prices, and we are just, as a small country, we are price takers.
Many people feel there shouldn't be a fuel price increase because they believe they are already taking out more money from their pockets due to the recent increase.
Be fair with the price increase. And also think of the community.
Shouldn't increase further because times are hard.
With the fuel prices increase, we have to go with the flow.
Meanwhile, the Consumer Commission says if any trader is caught breaching the law, they will not hesitate to conduct a full investigation and hand out fines and penalties. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Fijian population is growing but slowly. This was the finding of the recent population and housing census undertaken by the Bureau of Statistics. Our total population stands at 884,887 compared to 837,271 in the 2007 census.
The Fijian population has increased by 47,616 or 5.7%. A number of reasons have been attributed to the slow growth.
Well, the growth rate from the past few censuses have dropped. From 1986 it was 2%. 1996 it was 0.8%. 2007 it was 0.7%. This time around it's dropped to 0.6%. That could be due to a number of reasons. One being there's a lot of out-migration and the fertility levels have also dropped. So our population is growing, but at a slow rate.
Emily Soderberg says the 2017 census had 99.5% coverage. She says the department also got data from the hospitals, from births from 1 year, and school enrollment numbers from the Education Ministry.
We didn't capture some households due to a number of reasons. Some people were not counted because they were probably out of the country on census night. Some households were unoccupied when visited, and also because of the mobility of the population. When the enumerators or supervisors actually visited the households, they were not home. So these are just some of the reasons as to why some were not counted.
The census findings also reveal the median age of population is 27.5 years. This means that half of our population is below the age of 27.5 years.
Nearly 70% are below the age of 40. So it is critically important, as we've been saying as government, that our young people need to be empowered. They need to be made aware of what is actually happening in their country, but more so than that, they need to be aware about the actual democratic processes, the electoral processes that lead towards them being governed by different political parties.
Meanwhile, the urban population has reached 494,252, an increase of 69,406 compared to 2007. The Bureau of Statistics says much of the growth is due to the extension of the urban boundaries to cover growth in Nadi, Lautoka and parts of Tavyuni in the Kondrove. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, FRU to expand next year's Provincial 10s Rugby, but we now join Akosita for the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening. Coming up, BSP modifies service to encourage customer savings. And in growing Fiji, new police force for Flagstaff. Stay with us.
Moala rana lika, o tikongona tau ni singa toka, ando talitaka na wakaronga na Bull FM, number 2 na serre.
We are the Chubuli Kurnambili. Borani Bachkara Hambara Binanga. The Taltakinal na Baronga ng Bula FM. Number 2 na serre. Bula!
Bula FM, number 2 na serre.
Leading our business tonight, BSP has modified their service delivery to cater for the public who opt to save as part of their New Year's resolution. The effectiveness of term deposits is an ideal tool to help people keep the New Year's resolution to save or grow wealth. A term deposit enables them to lock away these hard-earned funds and ensure that they get back a guaranteed rate of return with BSP's great rates. Other BSP savings type of accounts include the BSP Easy Saver, Classic Saver or Money Zone accounts that reward customers with interest returns based on the level of savings maintained in their accounts. We now join Rocco from HFC Bank with the latest from the stock market.
Thank you. Let's look at the South Pacific Stock Exchange market rep for last week. Activity on the South Pacific Stock Exchange picked up pace as a total of 36,992 shares exchanged hands in 21 transactions. Total consideration amounted to $120,189. Looking at the share price movements, everything was up. Amalgamated Telecom Holding shares increased by 7.5% to conclude at a new high price of $2. Communications Fiji shares recorded a growth of 0.9% to end the week at $4.72. Paradise Beverages rose 3.2% to end at $13, while Clear's Global shares increased at 10.5% to an all-time high price of $2.10. RB Patel shares rose to a new all-time high share price as well, hitting $4.30, an increase of 0.5%, and BSP convertible notes shares rose by 0.1% to end at $8.55. The overall market capitalization rose by 3.6% to end the week at $1.86 billion. And that's the wrap from our local stock market.
Thanks, Rocco. Now looking at today's currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The dollar was up against most of the currencies we cover, but dropped slightly against the Chinese yuan and Aussie dollars as well as the euro. On the commodities market, oil prices were on the rise, closing at $64.30 a barrel. Gold rose about $15 to $1,339.11 per ounce, while silver gained slightly to rise 1 cent to $17.22 an ounce. And in growing Fiji, a brand new police post for Flagstaff became a reality today when Fiji Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Giliho signed a lease agreement with the developers of a new shopping complex on Bow Street. The new police post is the result of a determined effort between the Fiji Police Force, the Flagstaff Community and Police Association, and the property owner, the Fiji Maris Brothers Trust Board. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Giliho says the new police post will serve a large community of householders and commercial activity, as well as provide safety for children.
Signing an agreement like we're doing today will greatly assist us in dealing with these issues. Flagstaff, I'm close by there. I live in Domain, and I move around there quite a lot. So my OC, CO Totongo will know. I will always call him up, even if there's a group of drunks sitting there next to the shopping center near the roundabout there that used to ask money for everybody that goes in. I said, let's do something about it. So they were picked up, and you'll never see them around anymore.
The new police post has a prime site on the corner of Carew Street on one end of the Flagstaff Plaza shopping complex. And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Akasita, and good evening. In sports tonight, weightlifter pulls out from Commonwealth Games, and Joshua Tuisova shines for Toulon in top 14. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन टको ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Weightlifting Fiji has been dealt with a major blow after one of its lifters pulled out of the Commonwealth Games to be held in Gold Coast, Australia this year. Arieta Mundunavode cited personal reasons for withdrawal and becomes the second Fijian lifter to do so. Vasnil Prasad reports.
Levuka-based 53 kg weightlifter Arieta Mundunavode has put family first and even as the top priority to winning a medal at the Commonwealth Games.
I'm happy with my decision that I made. I got a daughter and right now she's sick, and I can't live without her.
Mundunavode qualified after being ranked in top 13 during the Asian Indoor Games last year. Coach Jovueti says it's a blow, but they understand fully the reason given by her.
A very big loss for weightlifting Fiji, because I mean in terms of our numbers, because we were supposed to be taking 9 athletes altogether. I mean for the Pacific, I think we were the only sport that have that numbers.
Mundunavode becomes second athlete to pull out after Maria Liku had earlier withdrawn. This means the weightlifting Fiji will only be represented by 7 lifters.
The other countries, they will have a chance of now qualifying for the Commonwealth Games with Arieta pulling out, and I don't think Fiji can send another replacement for Arieta.
The news has not dampened the spirit of the other lifters preparing for the Games, which will be held in Australia in April. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Rugby Union wants to have more teams competing in next year's Skipper Cup FRU Provincial 10s competition. After a successful first tournament over the weekend, the FRU plans to include teams from the Vodafone Championship to join the 8 elite teams who played this year's Skipper Cup. Meli Tavanga reports.
The FRU Provincial 10s Rugby began with 8 teams competing over the weekend and now is offering minor teams the chance to compete with elite teams.
This is the inaugural tournament. Next year we are hoping to have a bigger tournament involving all the teams in participating in the Skipper Cup and Vodafone Championship. We hope to make it bigger.
Meanwhile, the FRU will name 26 players for the Brisbane 10s in Australia next month.
And use it as we are doing now as a selection for our team to the Brisbane Global 10s. Duko, Brisbane Global 10s will be held on the 10th and 11th.
Super Rugby senior player John Stewart says they are now waiting for the selectors' decision on who will make the final cut.
As for the boys, I told them that individual play won't help us. As for selectors, we only see that teams that are moving forward and just play our game and let the selectors do whatever and choose whatever players that are best to represent Fiji.
The FRU will now include the Skipper Tuna Provincial 10s tournament in its annual calendar. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Fiji Airways Flying Fijians winger Joshua Tuisova was at his best form in the European Championships Cup this morning. The Fijian bus scored 2 tries for Toulon as they hammered Benetton 36-0. Nicola Matawalu, who's playing on the wing for Glasgow Warriors, also scored 2 tries in his side's 55-19 loss to Leinster. Leinster boasts the services of former Flying Fijian Issa Nadewa, who also scored 2 tries in the match. The Fiji Sports Commission is urging all sporting federations to make use of its budget allocation going into the new financial year. This was after 2 sporting bodies, baseball and judo, were left out after failing to submit proper documentations to the Commission ahead of the 2017-18 national budget. The Commission ironed out the issues with the 2 federations who will now be included in the 2018-19 financial year.
Regrettably, there were 1 or 2 that were very slow in coming forward with documentation that's needed. So there were a couple of sports in the past year that, because they hadn't acquitted previous funding, which if you're given any money from government, we have to acquit it. So it's not just acquitting to us, it's acquitting back to government so they can see it was truly used for what it was meant to be.
Vodafone Premier League title holders Lautoka sits on top of the table after the first round of games over the weekend. The Blues thumped Tavua 5-1 and has a better goal difference than Nadi and Suva, who also have 3 points in the bag. Nadi is placed second after defeating Ba 3-1, while Suva is on third, having beaten Rewa 3-2. The heavyweight unification bout between New Zealand's Joseph Parker and Britain's Anthony Joshua has been confirmed, with the world champions to go toe-to-toe March 31st. The world champions have agreed to put their IBF, WBA, IBO and WBO belts and unbeaten records on the line. In today's play of the day, the lucky cricket fan who made a $50,000 catch during New Zealand's third one-day international against Pakistan in Dunedin. With one swing of Martin Guptill's bat, Craig Doughty's life changed forever. The 34-year-old builder becoming the season's first Catch a Million competition winner. The competition by Tuibia offers fans $50,000 for catching a six with one hand while wearing a promotional shirt. That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather, and in new media we check out an innovation that's changing transportation. That's coming up.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo sekolah untuk talita na Radio Fiji 1 kena Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuya sila talit, nagurara may naomani, nandunga. Gitu talita kini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
We take a spin in one of America's self-driving BMWs. Delphi's mobility arm and the ride-hailing giant Lyft are taking folks for an autonomous spin around Las Vegas. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. The lovely weather has been interrupted by an active trough of low pressure that is gradually moving over Fiji, bringing us loads of showers. A heavy rain warning is now in force for the Fiji group, and a flood warning is also in place for low-lying areas, so look out for that and keep safe. Taking a look in the west, rain clouds were around. Possible heavy showers are likely for tonight. Eastwards, from Pack Harbour to Suva, it was a showery start to the day with more showers and thunderstorms. And up north, quite humid with cloudy skies, and yet again another spot which could expect showers overnight. At sea, northerly winds gusting up to 40 knots with rough to very rough seas. And for the tides, low tide early tomorrow morning will be at 12:19 with a high tide at 6:35. Sunrise will be at 5:43. For tomorrow, there is more rain indicated throughout Fiji, so you might want to prepare yourselves. Tomorrow's temps, the Soka Town Bar will be the coolest with a high of 27 degrees. And looking further on to Wednesday, rain is expected to ease, so we'll be looking at clearer conditions. And that's all from the FPC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse today, we asked, should action be taken against anyone who doesn't follow flood warnings?
Yeah, they should follow what police had for the flood warning, and they should follow what the parents or what they advise.
Yes, I think people should take precaution of flood warnings.
They should be taken into action because people nowadays are educated. They have to take more. They have to take it seriously when warnings are being put out.
They should adhere to the warning, otherwise actions should be taken because times are hard.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, can blueberries help treat cancer? A new study indicates the answer is yes. Recapping the main stories, bar shopkeepers count losses after major flooding, serious consequences for those who attack the police, and 1.5 million litres of water lost daily in major leakage. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, the results from last week, we had asked, should officers who abuse police vehicles be charged? 90% said yes. This week, we are asking, would you like to see new players included in the Fiji Sevens for Sydney Sevens and Hamilton Sevens? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, sent in by Rosalia Ramasi, a gorgeous view of her hometown, Sabu Sabu Bay. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na radio Fiji 1 and ndo moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Utiko minasong butikola ndo tali taka na radio Fiji 1 kina ndo moi viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali tagi yang gitu Venezuela pun nagundurong varorong na radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti na honga ni BNN.